people seem to be trying to get it retracted for reasons that aren't entirely clear. Dr. Speaker says there's teams analysing every sort of jot and tittle in the paper to try and find some justification to get it taken down, rather than debating the actual content of what it's saying. So that was disappointing before we even start looking at the science. So the vaccine vials are from pharmacists, including the XBB 1.5. So these are vaccine vials here that is collected. And they're analysing the amount of DNA contamination in these vials. And if we just look at that, maybe look at that top graph there in some more detail, we see that these are all the different vials. They've all got DNA contamination. Now, this was the old level of contamination that was allowed. This is the new level of contamination that's allowed. But of course, this is a log scale, so that's 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So basically now 1,000 times more DNA contamination is allowed than used to be allowed. Maybe more on that in a minute. So the DNA contamination in the Pfizer vials was 36 to 153 times that which was allowed by the regulations. That's not 153%, that's 153 times, 153-fold for the Pfizer. 36 to 153. With the Moderna, it was 112 to 627-fold. So huge amounts of DNA contamination compared to that which is allowed. And it looks like the Australian and Irish vials had even more DNA contamination. And the fact that the amount of DNA contamination varies in various places around the world means that the manufacturing process is clearly inconsistent. All Pfizer vials had SV40 DNA sequence, 500 billion. That's right, 500 billion copies of SV40 sequence per vial. Now, the thing about this SV40 sequence is, this SV40 sequence of DNA comes from something called the simian virus. But this SV40 sequence codes for a protein, and that protein inhibits the activity of P53, which is a human tumour suppressor gene. So if you're making a protein that's inhibiting the activity of the tumour suppressor gene, that tumour suppressor gene is no longer going to inhibit the tumours, therefore the tumours will be freer to grow. So that's a particular concern, and 500 billion copies of that SV40 promoter sequence per vial. Quite appalling levels of contamination, I think you would agree.